Today's the day, farm day, and I can already hear some machinery. It's not as humid as it was yesterday, so I think that we're gonna be harvesting today. We're actually waiting for about 11 a.m. because we're waiting for the grain to dry out a little bit more. First thing that's happening today is putting down some new seed. Before we get to work, I got some time to organize my stuff here because it was getting a little messy. Actually, I haven't used any of those things from the warm box. Next time going on a road trip, probably need half of the clothes that I brought. Yeah, especially around this time. It's almost summer. I guess it is summer. I'm gonna eat a quick breakfast and then I'm gonna go check myself in and we'll see where we get and what we do. Here's the plan. My farmhouse just came and laid it out for me. On the closest field where we're gonna be doing seeding, that's gonna be my first station where I'm gonna go and join. And after that, when lunch comes around, I'm gonna get on a combine where I'm gonna see how the whole harvest works. When I'm tired of the combine, I'm gonna hop on the semi that is taking the grain to the grain storage, and I'll see the process of that being dumped and going into the grain storages. Isn't that amazing? I'm gonna see the whole process, including the seeding for next crop. Mind-blowing. Going up in the field and towards the tractor. That's the seeder, and we're gonna go seed some fields out here. These machines are amazing. There's a GPS that auto steers this tractor and makes sure that the coverage of the seed is exactly where it's supposed to be. Here we're planting soybeans. There's one more tractor that is doing 3 rounds around the perimeter of the whole field. That way we can go in straight lines and have space to turn around on each row. It's hot outside compared to the cab. It's really nice and cool in there because the AC is working. We just ran out of soybean in one of these compartments, so we're calling to see if we can get a refill or if we have to go and get it ourselves. This is kind of how it looks, and I'm guessing we're gonna have to go get it ourselves because we're collapsing the feeder. We're taking a lunch break right now because we're waiting for the machine to be refilled with soybean, and we got some good food and even a dessert. Now this machine is called a tender, and that's gonna fill these with the soybean seed. This is pretty fun to watch. He was just trying to center him, but it's probably not the easiest to do with this tractor. As you saw, this tractor has like 8 tires. Look at all those soybeans. They're so cute. I was pretty interested to know what is the cost of a facility like that, and my estimate was about 1.5 million. And yes, that's actually the cost. This is a grain cart just dumping all the grain that was collected by the combines. I'm gonna actually hop on the next one that comes in, and there's gonna be a guy that's gonna explain me a little bit more about the process of harvesting.
What's going on?
Good. Ooh, it's hot and windy.
Sitting in the grain cart doesn't seem much different than the seeder. This has the same GPS system, but compared to automated seeding, on this machine you gotta pay attention where all your combines are and which ones need to be emptied. There are orange flashing lights on them. Most of the time you want to dump a combine as you harvest, because running these monstrous combines is expensive. After collecting 4 loads, you go dump your load into a semi-truck. But you gotta watch out not to spill your seed on the way, because the fields can be bumpy. It's all about precision driving. You have to even out the loads, and so if you don't, you gotta fix it. Then just cover the load and it's ready to go.
Now get this, the grain cart, the trailer actually is the size of the semi-truck that it's unloading into. So one of these is one of the semi-truck. When you have the combine can drop 4 loads into the grain cart.
And the combine takes it from this to this. time to ride the combine. Today's demonstration on how to work a combine was more hands-on for the operators than it usually is with flat fields. These fields had terraces, and so instead of putting it into auto steer, they actually had to operate them. A machine like this one can collect about 300 bushels at a time before it needs to be dumped. And as I mentioned earlier, you rarely want to stop these to offload, because if you have 300 acres to harvest in a day, you gotta keep moving. There is an app where you can see live information about location, moisture, and more from every single machine, together with field information, harvested percentage of field, and lots more. This is cool! So there are 4 combines around me and 2 grain carts that collect the grain and go to the semi-trucks where they dump it. The one thing that I want to get on is the semi-truck to take it from the field all the way to the grain storage. Once in a while, a combine stops working, and that's because the dirt gets into the mouth of the machine. Well, it's not called a mouth, but I called it the mouth. Now my mouth is gonna be full of this dust. Hurts my eyes. Whew. Good I'm not allergic to wheat. Okay, maybe I am allergic. It's amazing. One truckload of this grain is actually $4,000 to $5,000, depending on the market. This family started something new in the 80s, and everyone was kind of knocking on their heads that they're crazy. They also started with no tilling, which means that after they harvest, they actually don't till the ground, and they plant in seeds for the next crop. That saves a lot of money, a lot of time, and it saves the earth. Because if you till, you basically ruin the ecosystem that's been built down there. And if you just plant new stuff in, all the seeds are gonna actually get the nutrients that they need, and the ecosystem works. I mean, it's not science, it's just nature. As soon as they cut the fields, just like this, plant a new crop into it. It's gonna be in a different grid because you don't want to go in the same way. And so because of that, this family's business has been successful. It took years and years for the soil to regenerate, because if you stop tilling, of course the soil is not gonna recover right away. And right now, this soil is probably the best around in this area. What I've learned over the last 2 days made me really happy, that there are farmers that do things right. These guys spend money on seeds that actually are not modified, and they have to figure out how to make it work. Other farms, they get less yield, and it's because they purchase seeds that actually are modified, so they are not susceptible to diseases, fungi, and other stuff. If someone told me this 2 days ago, I would be like, what are you talking about? For me, it makes sense right now because I've been here, I've lived it, I saw it, and it's just amazing. If you guys ever have an opportunity to go see a farm, do it, because it's just amazing. I really wish I could tell you everything that I've learned, because it's so much and it makes me so happy how this farm works. But maybe one day I'll do a full documentary on it. This whole time I really wanted to help with something, and now I got a task. I gotta move 2 pickup trucks to the other side, to the south side of the property, so that way the truck drivers that are rotating can drop off the empty trucks on the other side and pick up these full trucks, and from that point start going only to the south side. For a second I thought that I got lost, but no, it's not too hard to find places here because there's only so many roads. All right, round 2. Whew, it's hot in here. It's fun out here. I mean, it's hard work having a farm, I'm sure, but being here for just a day is an amazing experience. And everyone is so knowledgeable. Like, every single person that I asked any question, they had an answer for me. And it probably wasn't even the thing that they were specifically doing, but it's amazing. I might skip the truck driver part. I'm gonna go check out probably the leg where they have the storage. We're now kind of at the end of the process, where from the truck, it gets dumped, it goes into the ground, and after that, it gets lifted and goes into this grain storage. The humidity of this grain has to be somewhere as close as 15%, because if it's higher, it can actually catch on fire
when it's sitting inside the bin. So it's really important to watch the numbers of humidity, and also they always check the protein because that determines what grade that grain is.
The last steps in this process are collecting a sample of every single truckload that comes in. This isn't a standard practice, but this farm wanted to be efficient and know right there and then the results.
What a process. I just can't explain how I feel right now. It's just so amazing being able to experience this in one day on a road trip throughout the US. I just love this. Just so you guys know where all this produce goes to, the corn is being sold to be used as feed for cattle. The soybeans are pressed for oils, and the grain, with its high content of protein, can be probably found in something that you are consuming daily. After a day like this, I'm gonna take a shower and probably do some laundry because this got super dusty. Alright. I kind of decided to stay here one more night. It's 6:15. By the time I would get on the road, it would be too late for me to drive somewhere and actually look for a camping spot. So I'm gonna stay one more night, and tomorrow morning I'm gonna hit the road and get as close to Colorado probably as possible. I'm gonna kind of look at the map tonight and see what's on the way, and we're gonna see where the road takes us. But now really, shower time. One of the reasons why I feel like I don't want to move from a spot like Indianapolis or here is that I'm meeting so many amazing people. Everyone out here is just super happy to share their wisdom, share their experiences, and just teach you. I'm really happy that I came to this place and that I could see what it is to be a farmer. And it's not easy work, but if you make the nature work with you instead of you working against it, that makes all the difference. And this farm, I can tell you, is doing things right. That's why they are one of the most successful farms out here. They have the most fields, I kind of want to say. And they're producing high yields, but at the same time, high quality. This is a type of farm that you wish all your food was coming from. Instead of all those farms that do conventional farming and they are looking at farms like this, like what are they doing? They're just kind of like messing around. That can't work. No, it's exactly the other way around. This works. And the other conventional farming, most of it just kills the planet. There's no life in the soil if you kill it. You have to work with the soil. The soil is your base. It's like us eating. If you eat crappy food, you're not gonna be healthy. So you have to start with soil. You have to start with the base. I could go on and on with this, but I just wanted to say that I'm happy that I was here. I'm happy that I saw that this farm is doing really a good job. And I wish them all the luck in the world because this is the way to go.